What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another recap and review of the Penguin series. I am recapping and reviewing episode number 6 titled Gold Summit of the HBO Max series. So if you have not watched episode 6 or any of the episodes previously, I would highly recommend pausing this video, saving it, and then coming back after you have watched episode 6 because this series deserves to be watched. It is so fucking good. And episode 6 is no different, guys. And episode 6, guys, is no fucking different. It is so damn good. Another great episode, 6 for 6 at this point with the Penguin series. I have loved every single episode, and it's honestly some of the best stuff that I have watched in 2024. Sure, one of the best TV shows that I have watched in recent memory. I don't know of a TV show, especially like a new release, that I have just been when the release date gets there, I'm just anxious to watch the episode, and then when I finish it, I'm just like, give me the fucking next one. This show is such a breath of fresh air in comparison to some of the other shit that we've watched over this year. I mean, The Rings of Power was great. I really loved The Rings of Power. It was a huge upgrade from season 1, but then we had The Acolyte, which was fucking hot dog water, and then the Marvel stuff, which I won't even get into. But this show is so damn good. So you need to be watching this show if you have not watched it. So let's recap episode 6, and then we'll jump into my overall thoughts and impressions of the episode. So Oz has managed to grow his empire significantly, reproducing and distributing the bliss in the underground trolley. Sophia and the Maronis kill several bliss dealers as a warning, leading Oz to decide to give away bliss for free to raise demand across all other gang territories. Vic is confronted by Squid, a drug dealer from his neighborhood, who asks Vic to let him join the operation. Vic attempts to pay him off, but when Squid threatens to expose Vic and Oz unless he gets a meeting with him, Vic shoots him dead and flees. Frances' condition deteriorates further, and she has Oz promise to kill her if she becomes severely ill. Oz threatens a corrupt councilman to restore electricity to Crown Point and sets a meeting with the heads of the other gangs, who he convinces to work together against the Gigantes, Maronis, and the upper elite. Sophia and Sal break into Oz's apartment to find leverage against him, and Sophia discovers a photo of Eve. Sophia visits Eve, threatening to kill her to get to Oz, but Eve gives up his location after Sophia reveals Oz was aware of the true identity of the Hangman. Frances and Vic dance to music after power is restored to Crown Point, just as Sophia enters with a crowbar. So again, 6 for 6, another great episode, and kind of like episode 5, there is some character development here. It's mostly towards Vic and the Penguin, but this episode is geared towards pushing the plot forward a little bit further, just like episode 5 did. And the one thing I did not have on my bingo card for 2024, and this series in particular, was Sal and Sophia having dinner with Sal cooking dinner for her. To me, it's just weird seeing Sal cooking dinner. I don't know. I just always pictured him as kind of like a top dog, like mob boss that wouldn't be cooking for his rival. It seemed weird, but let me just get this thing out the way, okay? I'm not saying that I necessarily dislike that. I actually kind of like that because it does kind of spin these characters in a different light and kind of makes this show a little bit unpredictable in a way because, again, I never would have thought these two characters would be chillaxing, eating dinner under some dimly lit lights. But regardless, that scene was still pretty good between them two. And I love that we are getting a little bit more of Sal in this series than I was expecting, because I think with the earlier episodes with Penguin meeting him in prison and them having the little conversations there, that's kind of the extent that I thought he was going to be in the show. I didn't think Maroni would be as prevalent in the show moving forward as he is since episode 5. And then episode 6, he's in it a pretty good bit. And I'm okay with it. I think he's a good character. I kind of hope that we get a little bit more of that character in subsequent episodes, or maybe even the sequel to the Batman. I don't know. I like his character. I like the acting there. So I definitely want more. So that's going to bring me to my next point. And I kind of want to talk about kind of the series in general, which is going to lead me into what I want to say next. What's so good about this series is the fact that they're able to give us character after character, and they're all fantastic. They're all great characters. Each character has had their own moment to shine so far in this series, and the actors have really elevated said characters in all of these episodes. Like when Sophia shows up at Eve's apartment and they have that scene between the two characters, it's a great scene, And up to that point, we have gotten like just little tidbits of Eve here and there. She really just a minor character and wasn't anything to write home about, right? Until this episode where we get a little bit more of her character. We get some more depth to that character, and the fact that hey, she's not looking out for anyone but other than her and her girls. So she's going to do whatever it takes to protect her girls. I like that out of this character. It was something that I wasn't expecting, to be honest with you. I thought she was just going to be a throwaway character, one of my least favorite characters in the show, and I would say up to this point, probably so. Like, I think what we have gotten out of her was not a whole lot. There's much to be desired there in terms of what her character was giving us, right? But this episode put her on a pedestal and was like, oh shit, like she's actually a pretty good character at this point. Like, I just think they did a great job of giving her depth in this particular scene. And on the flip side of things, she's having this conversation with Sophia, and you know, when people are on the edge of being killed, okay, like they realize that at any moment this guy on the other side is going to pull out a gun and shoot him in the face. And while there is that tension there because you think Sophia is just going to snap on her and just fucking shoot her at any point. I mean, I definitely thought that. So the tension is there for sure. But Eve is not bullshitting Sophia. Neither of these characters are bullshitting each other. I feel like with this scene, you get a sense that Eve is not going to go out like a bitch. She's not going to go out begging for her life or anything like that. And she's going to be straight up and honest. And if that results in her untimely death, then so be it. And I just think they did a great job of giving her depth in this one scene alone. But all of that to say is that this show, every single character in the show is absolutely great. Absolutely great. Every single one of them. And now on my episode 5 review, I mentioned that I wanted more of Oz and his mom. And that was something that I felt like the show needed to kind of lean on a little bit more to kind of get that, to find that heart of the show. And this episode, we are getting more of Oz and his mom. And again, it humanizes his character. It makes that relationship very relatable between him and his mom. And the actress that plays Frances, so damn good, guys. So damn good. She's like swapping back and forth between like stern, like no bullshit kind of character to her being vulnerable and brittle. Just speaks to how good of a performance she had in this episode. So I loved everything between him and his mom, and then his mom and Vic. It's just great characters all the way around. And then speaking of Vic, we've kind of crossed that line now where he's kind of he's approaching that irredeemable character realm, because now he has shot and killed Squid, and he did it so he could protect Oz and the operation, but he's always been on the other side of the fence up to this point. Like, yeah, he's been a part of the gang, but he really hasn't done anything to be irredeemable. But now that he has killed Squid, I feel like he has just jumped over that fucking fence, and now he's on the side with Penguin, and there's no return for his character at this point. So I'm curious to know where they take Vic with the last 2 episodes of this series. And then how about that fucking ending, guys? My God. When I saw that ending, I was like, give me the fucking next episode right now. Because we have Vic and Frances having this great little moment where the lights come on, she's no longer cold, and they're having like this happy little dance. And Frances is genuinely happy, but then it turns the camera just a little bit, and that's when we see Sophia walking in with a crowbar, and she realizes that Oz's mom has been alive the entire time, and it's kind of like check fucking mate was the impression that I got from Sophia in that scene. And it was such a great cliffhanger of an episode. Like, give me the fucking next one right now. Let me know how you feel about episode 6 and the entire series up to this point. Now, with that being said, I'm going to pause right here. I'm going to end this episode so I can go watch episode 7 so I can figure out what the hell Sophia does after this moment. But guys, I appreciate you joining me for this review. I will catch y'all next time on the next one. Laters.